Okay, so this week we're talking about our coming out stories. So the reason that I'm late is because today is actually Becky's anniversary of coming out to her mom, so it was kind of special. Actually, I forgot yesterday was Tuesday, but we'll go with that.
Well, whatever.
So you can go first.
So I'm Becky, and on this day, okay, last year it was Nuit Blanche in Toronto, and so that'd be yesterday.
This year too.
So I had this really... Okay, so I was on the subway, and it was 3 a.m., and I was with my best friend, and of course, we both knew we were gay. We were gay friends, but we weren't like that. And I was debating coming out to my mom for a while, because, you know, it's just the thing to do, tell your mom, right? But I didn't want to. But then on the subway, there was this homophobic boy who was off his rocker, and he was ranting and raving right in front of me. Though I looked very straight at the time. And
Back in the day.
Didn't
we all?
Yes, we did, before we all cut off our hair. And he started ranting about how he hated faggots, and all faggots should die and go burn in a hole, and they're all going to go to hell. And he was yelling at this poor little gay boy. I don't even know if he was gay. I think he was just tiny and short. And then he was also saying how he was a fucking Asian, and I hate Asians. And I'm sitting there with the gay, lesbian Asian, sitting in front of him, and all I wanted to do was, like, talk to him, not punch him in the face. That'd come later. But I felt really, bad that, why, you have to be ashamed of this. So I was like, if I can't even tell my mom, how can I go up to this guy and, tell him, it's okay to be gay if I'm too ashamed to tell my own mom. So then, later that day, since it was 3 in the morning, I came up to my mom. After, an hour sitting on your bed, rocking back and forth, I can tell her. And I was like, hey, Mom, I'm gay. And then, after that was a great, yeah. And then after that, I was like, okay, fuck it. We're just out. We're out and about, and that was great. That was the best. Because, there's no way I'm going to be ashamed of this. No fucking creaser is going to be... that means homophobe, just so you know. Creasers is code for homophobe. Okay, your turn.
Okay, so when I was 14, I came out to my best friend Celine because I had feelings for this girl, and Celine was friends with this girl. So I was like, you know what, I may as well go for it and shit. So I was on MSN. That's how you do it. That's how you do it at 14. And I was just like, I have something to tell you, but if you don't want to be my friend, I will understand. And she was like, what the fuck? Did you kill someone? I was like, nah, girl, no. Just a fag. Anyway, she was like, okay, cool, we still having a slumber party on Friday? And that was the first person I ever came out to. It was really that simple, even though I was, crying like a little fucker. She was fine with it. Not so much me. Then, I somehow became, the lesbian of my town. It was just like, hey, you big old dyke. And I was like, hey, yeah, that's what I am. And everyone just embraced that shit. Yeah, so it got really easy. And then a couple years later, I was like, I should probably tell my parents before, everyone else in the city does. Because, they don't know. So I was, 16. And I told my mom before my dad. I probably would have told my dad sooner just because it's less stressful to tell my dad because it's not that big a deal. If he don't like it, he would suck it up. Anyway, I don't know. Probably, but my mom would have been so offended if I told my daddy first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I'll tell her first. So we was driving my friend Celine home. Same Celine.
Right.
Same Celine. And we dropped her off, and I was texting Celine. I was like, I'm gonna do it. She's like, do it. So I was like, all right, I will, girl, shoo. All right, so I was like, hey, Mom. She's like, yes. And I was like, I kind of have this thing. Okay?
A thing?
I've got this thing for, girls.
Say it ain't so.
Except for my mom's reaction was more like, yeah, I figured. Did you know Angelina Jolie was bisexual? And I was like, thank you for the info.
Okay.
And then when I told my daddy, it's real simple. It went like this. I'd be at Camp Glenburn, and I was seeing this girl, and it was all great. And it was going great. Anyway, and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling it. I'm gonna tell my daddy. So I called him up during the phone times.
On the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyway, you can only make phone calls between certain times of the day. He only gets certain amounts of free time because I worked at this camp. Camp Glimmer! Anyway, so, yeah, I call him up, and I'm like, yeah, Dad, I got a confession. And he'd be like, alright, well, what it be? And I was like, yeah, I'm gay. And he was like, okay. And I was like, okay. Love ya. Love you too. Peace. And that is essentially the hats. I will see you guys next week on the Baby Beaver Bunch.